He knows what to do with the ball when he gets it. You know, he's not one of these players that gets the ball and hopes things happen. He gets the ball and he makes things happen.
Marty can do things in training that I have never seen done before, and I've played on All-Ireland winning teams.
He's 22, in only his first year with the Down seniors. But Marty Clark is the man the rest of the Down players are learning from. Just ask Benny Coulter.
He's been in a professional game for 3 years, and he's brought back things to us that, you know, we probably wouldn't have seen if he hadn't come back. So, you know, we're all learning, and, you know, he's a good lad. He's a young lad, but he's a good lad to learn off as well. Even though he is so young, he's a good head on his shoulders. Who's their top man always marks Marty. Marty has taken a lot of pressure off some of the lads, so I think his return has really helped all of us.
Everybody's taking bits and pieces off him, whether he's practicing, his recovery. There's everybody about the whole panel has probably taken something from him, and he's happy to give the advice.
Marty is one of 4 players from Unreal who will be playing for Down on Sunday. Clubmate Brendan McVeigh remembers Marty the last time Down played in the final in 1994. Marty was only 6 at the time.
Not like I remember Martin whenever in the 94 team, like, Martin being just a small kid, and everybody used to go up and ask him name the teams, and he could have rhymed the whole team off for you. Like, so Martin's big down man at heart too.
Marty has big brother John on the team with him as well. They're trying not to get carried away though.
I suppose it's something he's always dreamed about, but we're just at the minute we're just focusing on the match itself and what Cork are going to, what threat they're going to pose us, which will be a very big threat. And then hopefully if we play well and all work hard on the day, we'll have our just reward at the end of it.
So can we expect a bit of the unexpected from the Down forwards on Sunday?
I don't know what Marty can do there. I'm sure he's something up his sleeve. He scored a free kick there for the Kingdom one night from 21 yards off the ground, you know, top corner. So if there's a man to watch, it's Marty.
Stop me, oh, stop me. Stop me if you think that you've heard this one before.
Are they confident in that, or is it going to be a burden on top of them? We don't know. We won't know till Sunday. I think Cork could win the game. I think they have a stronger back 6, plus they have a strong bench. We saw it the last day. Colin O'Neill came on with, 10 or 15 minutes ago. He won the penalty. He had his fingerprints all over 3 other scorers. Derry Cavan has scored one of the late scores. Nicholas Murphy, for me, is a key player. We're going to see him in the last 10 or 15 minutes in around the middle of the park. And these guys, I think, could drive Cork on. The key for me is that they're not going to panic on Sunday, no matter coming into the latter stages of the game, no matter how far down they are, within reason. And we saw that against Dublin. They were, Dublin were 2 points up in the 66th minute, and Cork went on to score 4 points. This relentless attitude that he had in the last quarter of the game is what is going to stand to them coming into this match. It's winning ugly. And coming back at sides is now part of their game, and if it happens on Sunday, they can draw on the reserves, I suppose, in the emotion and everything else that happened in the last 10 or 15 minutes, and it should see them over the finishing line.
TV3 and the Irish Daily.
O'Neill through, very tricky opposition, and just puts it up to every time you play against them.
Favourite venue to play at would be Croke Park.
I think when the roar goes up, if you score a point or make a tackle or anything, there's nothing special like that.
The biggest mess from the Down squad would be Conor Lavery.
I think he's sort of the one that sits at the back of the bus, and a few prank phone calls wouldn't go amiss. The best player in the country, I would say, would have to be the Gooch. Some of the passes he picked out in the quarter-final we played them, I don't think any other player would see them.
My favourite film,
Happy Gilmore. I always liked golf, and I thought that film was very, very funny.
The rule I'd change in football.
Well, I don't think there's a rule for the tackle. I think it has to be defined. I think a lot of defenders pride themselves in tackling, and I actually don't think there's a rule to say what type of tackle you're allowed and not allowed to get away with. Favourite sports person would be Roger Federer. I think as 5-time Wimbledon champion, it has to be something that's respected. Great sportsman. Maria Sharapova, tennis player, very nice. I don't think there's anything really bad. Maybe the hassle of getting All-Ireland final tickets, but it's something I have to put up with. I just think playing on the highest stage you can, playing in Croke Park and full attendance is not too much higher than that.
Still to come on Championship. Both Dennis Walsh and Conor Coonan, for say, their communication and their effort they put in all through the year, I suppose. It's not an easy thing to do, but definitely, from the point of view of communication, both lads have been speaking regularly, and it was never a case that it was up to myself, and that definitely helps. I suppose last year when I came back into the football setup after we were defeated by Galway in the hurling, I suppose it gave me a taste again for football, and I suppose naturally enough it was disappointing being beaten in the All-Ireland final last year, and you want to try and make amends for that. And I suppose when both lads had spoke to each other and spoken to myself, we felt that it was worth giving it a go this year, and I think all things have gone away okay so far, and we're in an All-Ireland final, which is a great place to be. When you have the calibre of player that we have in Cork in either codes, I think it makes your job a lot easier to adapt, like when you have quality players around you, and I suppose it's your mindset itself. You have to be focused on what you're doing one week. I think that's the key thing really, with being able to adapt in both hurling and football, and having different mindsets for different games. I suppose when I was in Street League myself, I can remember like Brian Coughlin coming down presenting medals to us, and I suppose every young fellow would have been in awe on him, and he was a great icon for every player out there, and still is, like the way he even came back, say, 2004 and 2005, that kind of way. And I suppose Dennis Walsh himself would have done it all before, and he would have understood what it means to play both and what's needed. So from that point of view, I could relate back to Dennis very easily. We haven't reached the heights of last year, but in saying that, we're still in an All-Ireland final, and we're in a good place. And I suppose there's no point in really looking back over the past. Say, during the last couple of months, you can only focus on the game in a week's time. And from that point of view, I know every fella's itching to go, and the performances and training have upped, and every fella's looking forward to playing an All-Ireland final. At the start of the year, that's where your aim is, to get there, and hopefully we'll come out the right side of it now this year. I enjoyed it, build up, I don't...
Achieving just that. He won 2 All-Irelands as a player with Down in 1991 and 1994, but he reckons he'll be much more nervous as a manager on All-Ireland final day.
Yeah, to be honest, because at least when the game starts, when you're a player, the nerves stop, and whenever the game starts for us, it multiplies and multiplies. So look, it's completely different. You're worrying about 15 other people on the field and the guys that may potentially come on, but whenever you're a player, you're mostly worrying about yourself. So that's the situation. We're just fingers crossed. Well, there's any particular secret, and I don't think we as a management team work any magic either. I just think we maybe got a wee bit of luck in the team has matured as each game has gone by. With each game maybe came at the right time, even going back to the Longford, and then the Offaly game came at the right time, and then Sligo gave us a massive confidence boost going in against Kerry. So each wee game was a step along the way. There was no massive leap of improvement, but gradual along the way.
Down have never lost an All-Ireland final. The McCartan dynasty has played a part in each of their 5 All-Ireland titles. But James doesn't want history to weigh his players down on Sunday.
It's not spoke about in our dressing room. These guys want to make their own wee piece of history, and what happened in the past, we don't want them to hinder them in any way. So if they're able to join that select club when it becomes their own piece of history, we'll celebrate it them. But at the minute, we have a game to try and win, and I don't want any noose hanging around their neck about carrying on what their fathers have done in the past.
With nearly all the pressure on Cork going into the final, will we see Down cutting loose?
Well, that's the hope, but Connor's probably coming in he's been getting a lot of flack and criticism that they haven't been performing, so that's a good way for him to come into a final as well, for them to try and fulfil their potential on the biggest day of them all, and prove all those pundits wrong. But all those pundits that have been knocking them all year are still probably be picking Cork, and probably rightly so, on the experience they have.
James won his first All-Ireland when he was just 20. In his debut season as manager, he's brought Down to an All-Ireland final. So does he usually get what he wants pretty quickly?
No, it took myself and the wife 14 years to get married, so no, I'm usually a slow burner, to tell you the truth.
McCartan's men and the Sam Maguire. Down fans will say that's a marriage made in heaven.
We probably wouldn't win in All-Ireland. We know we certainly have to improve from that game.
Down manager James McCartan was due to name his team on Friday night. He's no new injury concerns. Ambrose Rogers is expected to be named on the bench.
Cork will be looking to complete a double at Croke Park on Sunday. The Rebels are up against a much fancied and highly thought of Tyrone team in the minor decider. Both teams had to produce comebacks in the semi-finals, Cork to overcome Galway and Tyrone to get the better of Mayo.
I suppose at the stage from the sideline, all the luck that we needed seemed to be going against us, and full dues to the fellas on the field. They showed the character to come back, and the great thing was they were on the field and they never stopped believing.
We'll have to be in the game to get the crowd behind us. Certainly if the crowd come in at whatever stage they come in, and we're not in the game, they won't have much to support. But if we're in the game, certainly at 18 years of age, it'll make a big difference to you when you have 40,000 mad Corkmen or women supporting you. So that's the plan, to be in the game when the crowd come in and take them there.
It's just all about what happens on the day. 60 minutes. It's the most important thing. You suppose you can't worry about things outside 4 white lines, and it's just about whatever team performs in the day. Form book goes out the window, so it's just all about what happens on the day, and that's the main thing.
We've been waiting for the last 2 weeks now. Good win against Galway in the semi-final. Great confidence now going to the All-Ireland final. Raging underdogs, but that comes to the All-Ireland final day, I think. We're ready for the task at hand, and hopefully we can give the seniors a boost going to the final.
You'll stay in the final.